We gotta keep it fresh. What? Hey everybody, welcome to the show. On this episode, I attached some women's hosiery to my custom 4x6 factory speaker grills. I find some stainless steel screws and some nylon spacers and get them installed. I redo my door panel pockets with some Alcantara-ish material and finally complete all the projects I started on the doors. So stay tuned. Brakes feel pretty good. I have to say it's running pretty damn good, you guys. That soundproofing created some space between the speaker plastic grill that goes over the speaker and the body of the speaker itself. Also, that cardboard ring that goes around there created some distance from the face of the speaker also. And I wanted to fill that gap. So I ordered these spacers off of Amazon. These are nylon spacers for M4 size screws. They're gonna go in here like that. The screws on the Porsche are M4s, which is halfway between an American number 6 and American number 8. And so I ordered up this box of screws. The stock screws are domed a little bit on the head, and I think they go by oval headed. But at the very least, I wanted to make sure they were countersunk like that, like the stock ones. So I ordered up this set of screws. I like stainless steel screws because they don't rust, and I thought that these were close enough to the stock ones, so I just went with these. I had to make sure that they go into this recess, and I'm pretty sure they're the right size. I'm gonna go test that now. As soon as I get my pantyhose, which should be coming tonight, I can glue them onto my speaker grills and get my speaker grills all on and finished. Oh yeah. After my pantyhose came in, I cut some small pieces out of them that fit over the speaker grill, and then I just taped around the portion of the grill that I didn't want to get any glue on. I put the grill on a piece of carpeting to kind of absorb any little glue that might spray through those holes. Try to avoid getting any glue where I didn't want it. And then I just gently glued that fabric down, and you don't want to stretch it. You kind of want to lay it on there and lay it out smooth, kind of work your way out from the center, but don't stretch it. And then taking a razor blade and running that blade around the outside edge to cut off the excess. So I'm gonna use the shortest spacers that I can because I don't want the speaker grill to stick out any farther than it needs to. I just wanted to put constant pressure on the actual frame of the speaker. I put some dabs of glue on the spacers to hold them on there, getting a little extra tape off of there. Looks pretty dang good. So next I go back and I paint the heads of these screws so that they blend in. I don't know if those are going to be too big, if they're going to work, but I think they should work pretty good. They actually look really good. I'm guessing in the day they look really good too. So I bought this set of screws from Amazon, and here I'm just taking it all, punching some holes in the top of oh, this is not a commercial for pop, you guys. Okay, sugar is not good. Definitely should not be drinking pop, but this is just what it is. So took the awl, punched the holes in the cardboard, and then put the screws in there and hit them with some paint. So I'm just gonna hit the tops of those screws with primer first. I probably should be using like an etching primer. Yeah, an etching primer would probably work better on these stainless screws, but I've just got this regular primer. I got this at Fleet Farm, and this is just whatever. This is how I get my daily exercise. I think it's about time I get a new respirator. Color of the camouflage paint that I used actually worked out really well. It's a very close match. And those are going to go right down in here. The carpeting that was glued onto the door pockets from the factory was pretty stained up, and it had unglued itself from the pockets. I want this interior to look like it was expensive, even though it wasn't. So I decided to order up that Micro Suede. I decided to replace this factory vinyl trim with a real piece of leather on the passenger side pocket. That's the plan. But then when I got to the driver's side, I reused the factory vinyl trim that was already on there. Oh, that ain't bad. I can do that. Oh, easy peasy, you guys. Easy peasy. Cover girl. Once I took these apart, I could see how the factory stapled them together. This makes sense now. So what they must do, they staple it on this edge, then they bend it over, and they staple it on the back side. Then they must pull this last and glue this down. So I've just gotta finish on doing these staples now. And these staples are heavier duty than these staples. They must be like a gauge bigger. Just get in there and pop them out like that. And I've decided to recover the door pocket for the passenger side just like the factory would have, only with new materials. It's covered in like a gooey, it's just shot. I'm gonna scrape it off and then we're gonna use something different. So I scraped up all the old foam and then next I started stapling on my junkyard piece of leather that I pulled out of a Toyota because it just happens to be in the right color. And that way I don't have to dip into my new leather that I bought to redo that trim piece. Definitely gonna have to take a steel brush or something to this. I pulled off any loose ends of that underlying fabric that was bonded to the plastic. Then I took out my hammer and I pounded down any little bumps that were sticking up from the staples being shot through that plastic. Because I don't have any thin foam to put underneath my Alcantara type material, I needed to make sure that the underlying structure was as flat as it could be. I glued down an inexpensive polyester suede type material I purchased off the internet, and I used that as the underlayment to hide the imperfections in the plastic rather than a piece of foam because I didn't have any foam. So there's my piece of Toyota leather, and then I started laying out my leather and Alcantara to be stapled to the plastic. Okay, so I've got my Alcantara. And then I did the same thing with Micro Suede so that all those edges would line up and then be ready for stapling to the plastic. I did the best job I could with the stapler that I had. It really wasn't strong enough to push the staples through the fabric and then through the plastic cleanly. So I spent a bunch of time trying to make them as good as I could. And then I decided to do that other pocket differently so I didn't have to use my staple gun that wasn't quite adequate. I did try using my air gun with a bigger staple, but that was too powerful and ended up breaking the plastic. So I did the best job I could with the stapler that I had. Instead of stapling the other side of the leather down like the factory would have, I decided to just use glue. I tried to make it as smooth and even as I could, and then I cut those reliefs in the leather and glued the edge down. Here I'm putting the glue on the back side to take the place of those staples, and then I'm smoothing that leather out and gluing it down as best I can. After that I trim around the edges to take off the excess leather, and then I work on gluing the Micro Suede down on the other side. This leather does feel nice on here, but I'm gonna do this one differently. This one I'm going to just cut off the carpeting. I'm gonna leave this vinyl thing here, and I'm just gonna butt my Micro Suede then up to this. But I have to get every ounce of carpeting out of here that I can. And I gotta try to do it without nicking or slicing this thing. I wonder if I might actually get to use my Harbor Freight shears. I don't know what they're supposed to be for, but I have a feeling that these might come in super duper handy. Oh yeah. These are pretty nice. They're I might have to go online and get like an actual nice pair of these. Hopefully try to cover up these staple divots and go from there. I took a silver marker and I wrote on all the high spots, and now I'm just tapping them down with a punch. And it's actually working pretty well. I'm just using this punch. It has a kind of a flat head on it. That's what she said. Girl, you'll be a woman soon. I'll be your man. Is that it? That's a creepy song. I took a black marker and I just accentuated this line. I'm going to cut this off now and use it as my template for my new fabric. Goodbye, dirty bottom. I'm gonna go wash my hands, you guys. Scott. It's really nice and smooth, actually. Shame to cover it up. Turned out pretty good. You can see I knocked down all those bumps and they're gone. Gonzo, baby. So I'm gonna spray my glue on this, not on the back of my Alcantara-ish material. Time to glue this sucker down. I gotta be honest, I'm digging it a lot. So I'm just finding the bolt hole from the back, poking it through so I can see where it's supposed to go through, and then putting my on this side of it, and then pushing it through. I'm glad that these turned out the way they did. It's not perfect, but I just test fit the driver's side on, and that looks so good. So good. So good. There it is, guys. I hope you liked the show. I'm not gonna talk too loud because I got Miss Sophia with me. Is that too loud? But anyway, thanks for checking out the show, guys. I really appreciate all of the subscriptions. Thank you for subscribing. And shout out to all my old friends and family. Just hope everyone's doing good and look forward to seeing you again. Check back for new episodes of Project Porsche. See you next time. Say bye, Soph. Yeah, Soph says bye. Thanks for watching, guys.
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
Yeah.